The T-Slim X2 with Basal IQ technology isn't like other insulin pumps. Delivering a bolus with its intuitive touchscreen interface is as easy as sending a text. You never have to scroll to get what you need. The T-Slim X2 is also the smallest durable pump available, and its sleek, slim design is both easy to conceal and fun to show off. And its patented micro-delivery technology provides precise insulin delivery. Its bright color touchscreen can display data from the Dexcom G6 CGM, so you can make treatment decisions without pricking your finger and share your glucose data with up to 5 followers. Concerned about lows? The Basal IQ technology in the T-Slim X2 pump predicts and helps prevent lows. Using data from your CGM, when low glucose is predicted, it suspends insulin delivery, then automatically resumes insulin delivery once glucose levels begin to rise, all without any complicated modes or excessive alerts and alarms. You don't need to worry about throwing away expensive disposable batteries because this micro USB port allows you to recharge the T-Slim X2's battery and easily download your pump and CGM data. And while the T-Slim X2 may look like a smartphone, it's built to stand up to whatever life brings. Its body is made out of aluminum, unlike most pumps, which are made of plastic. Its touchscreen is an extremely durable, shatter-resistant glass. And the T-Slim X2 is watertight to 3 feet for 30 minutes, so there's no need to panic if it accidentally gets splashed. If for some reason something does happen to your X2, it's backed by a 4-year limited warranty and our #1 rated 24/7 customer support. Despite all those great features, maybe the best thing about the T-Slim X2 pump is that it was designed to receive software updates from your computer. This technology enabled thousands of T-Slim X2 customers to enjoy CGM integration without a cumbersome upgrade program. That's why we say that the T-Slim X2 is the only pump that gets updated, not outdated. To try it out for yourself, text DEMO to 826336 to download our free T-Simulator app for your smartphone, or visit tandemdiabetes.com for more info.
The T-Slim insulin delivery system embodies both the design and features that people with diabetes and their healthcare providers have asked for in a next-generation insulin pump. In a world of smartphones and tablets, we all expect the highest quality design, user interface, and materials that make us feel good about the devices we use. Outer beauty is important, and T-Slim has it. T-Slim sports the slimmest, most compact design, so that it can be slipped into a pocket or worn discreetly under clothing. T-Slim wears its finish well. Glass, chrome, and a glossy exterior all make the T-Slim shine among today's most popular handheld devices. Shatter-resistant glass and a light aluminum case also make it remarkably durable. But T-Slim is more than just a pretty face. It's the first insulin delivery system cleared by the FDA that incorporates a touchscreen interface. Menu-driven controls make T-Slim extremely easy to learn and to use. The touchscreen has high-contrast lighting and colors that make it easily readable in daylight and at night. With a size that can't be duplicated using conventional syringe pump technology, the T-Slim's sleek form factor is enabled by Tandem's micro-delivery technology. This proprietary technology not only offers aesthetic benefits, but is designed with safety in mind. The T-Slim isolates the person from the device's 300-unit insulin reservoir by drawing and delivering small amounts of insulin rather than compressing the reservoir's full volume, as in conventional syringe pumps. Sensors within the T-Slim detect the amount of insulin remaining within the reservoir, which is displayed on the device's home screen. They also help detect occlusions and automatically detect and correct for pressure changes, a condition that, unknowing to the user, can cause unintended delivery of insulin in conventional syringe pumps. T-Slim is also the first insulin pump to incorporate a micro USB port, which is used to recharge a lithium polymer battery. Charging is quick, and a charge typically lasts for up to 7 days. The micro USB port is also used to transfer data to T-Connect, our web-based Mac and PC-compatible therapy management software. T-Connect's secure system quickly uploads all the pump and BG meter data to the cloud, where it can be accessed on demand by the user, a caregiver, or healthcare professional. The consolidated information is clearly displayed on an easy-to-interpret dashboard that summarizes the user's information. It empowers the individual to manage their therapy and enables healthcare professionals to advise their patients on how to improve glucose control. T-Slim, the ultimate in design and functionality for next-generation insulin delivery.
Welcome! We're excited to show you how easy control can be using the T-Slim X2 insulin pump with Control-IQ technology from Tandem Diabetes Care. This video explains how Control-IQ works during usual day-to-day activities when you aren't using the sleep or exercise activity settings. To learn more about how to use the sleep and exercise activity settings, please watch our other videos. The goal of Control-IQ technology is to minimize the burden of managing your diabetes by automatically adjusting insulin delivery based on readings from your continuous glucose monitor, or CGM. Using readings from the Dexcom G6 CGM, Control-IQ technology predicts what your glucose will be in 30 minutes and adjusts insulin delivery accordingly. Treatment values are the CGM values that trigger Control-IQ technology to act in order to help increase time spent in the target range of 70 to 180 milligrams per deciliter. When your glucose is predicted to be between 112.5 milligrams per deciliter and 160 milligrams per deciliter 30 minutes in the future, your pump will deliver insulin at the rate determined by your active personal profile. During this time, you will see a gray diamond icon on the home screen, and the pump status icon will be a black B in a light blue square. When your glucose is predicted to be at or below 112.5 milligrams per deciliter 30 minutes in the future, Control-IQ technology will begin to decrease insulin delivery from your active personal profile rate to help to keep your glucose within the target range. While this is happening, the lower half of the diamond icon will become orange, and the pump status icon will also be orange. When Control-IQ technology predicts that your glucose will be below 70 milligrams per deciliter 30 minutes in the future, basal insulin delivery will be stopped. Bolus deliveries will continue, including any active extended bolus currently underway. You will also be able to start a new bolus even though basal delivery has been stopped. When Control-IQ technology has stopped your basal insulin delivery, the lower half of the diamond will become red, and the pump status icon will be a red 0. Additionally, you will see a red shaded area on the CGM trend graph, which lets you know that basal insulin was stopped during that time. Basal insulin delivery will resume once your glucose is predicted to be above 70 milligrams per deciliter 30 minutes in the future. When Control-IQ technology predicts that your glucose will be above 160 milligrams per deciliter 30 minutes in the future, basal insulin delivery will be increased. During this time, the upper half of the diamond icon will be blue, and the pump status icon will be a white B in a dark blue square. This icon is different from a personal profile rate, which is a black B in a light blue square. When Control-IQ technology predicts that your glucose value will be at or above 180 milligrams per deciliter 30 minutes in the future, and when Control-IQ technology is either increasing insulin delivery or delivering the max basal rate, the pump will deliver an automatic correction bolus to help return you to the target range. While Control-IQ technology is delivering an automatic correction bolus, you will see the icon of a white droplet in a blue square. Also note that when Control-IQ technology is delivering an automatic correction bolus, you will see a Control-IQ bolus displayed at the bottom of the screen. Thanks for watching this video and learning how easy control can be. Please visit tandemdiabetes.com/controliq to learn more about the t:slim X2 insulin pump with Control-IQ technology.
How to use the AutoSoft 90 infusion set. The AutoSoft 90 is a very popular 90-degree set that uses a soft cannula and comes with an integrated insertion device. It's available with 6 and 9 mm cannulas and either 23 or 43-inch tubing. You can also choose between gray, pink, and blue infusion sets and connectors. To begin, you will want to work on a clean surface. Be sure to wash your hands and clean your insertion site. Please refer to your healthcare provider's recommendations when selecting an insertion site. The AutoSoft 90 comes packaged in this cool little spaceship design, which contains the set, the tubing, and the inserter all together. Before you begin, check the tamper-proof seal and sterile paper. Do not use if the seal or paper have been broken. To open it, find the red strip of plastic in the outer shrink wrap and pull it to remove the seal. Then remove the sterile paper cover. Now, remove the lid by pressing the 3 raised dots on either side firmly with one hand and lifting the flat tab of the lid with the other. Be careful not to bend or touch the AutoSoft 90 introducer needle when preparing the inserter and infusion set. Now we're going to get ready to insert the cannula. It's important to be gentle when handling the insertion device to keep from moving or dislodging the infusion set. First, we'll unwind the tubing. It's important to do this before attempting to insert the site. Carefully grab the end of the tubing by the connector and dislodge it from this tab. Then, gently pull it upwards to unwind, stopping when you get to the end so you don't move the cannula housing. Be careful not to pull too hard when the tubing is fully released. You could accidentally remove the infusion set from the introducer needle. Attach the infusion set tubing to the tubing lock connector on the cartridge. Twist clockwise until finger tight, and then twist another quarter of a turn to ensure a secure connection. Fill your tubing according to the instructions in your Tandem Pump User Guide. When priming the AutoSoft 90 infusion set, hold the connector needle pointing down. Make sure there are no gaps of air in your tubing to reduce the possibility of interrupted insulin delivery. You should never fill your tubing while your infusion set is connected to your body. Always ensure that the infusion set is disconnected from your body before filling the tubing. Now it's time to insert the cannula. It's important that the area is clean and dry before proceeding. You can also wipe the area with an alcohol swab or an IV prep pad. Next, gently pull off the swirly paper backing on the adhesive. Be careful not to pull the adhesive paper too hard. You could accidentally remove the infusion set from the introducer needle. After that, you need to caulk the insertion device. To do this, place your fingers on these lined ridges on both sides and press in. Then grab right here and pull straight up until it clicks. Now, remove this plastic needle guard from the introducer needle by gently twisting and pulling it off. After that, slide the tubing into one of these 2 slots on the rim of the insertion device to keep it out of the way. Put the inserter over the area you selected for your site. You can choose which way the tubing will face by looking for where it attaches to the cannula housing. Activate the inserter by pressing the round indents on either side at the same time and there it goes! Press the middle of the inserter gently to make sure the adhesive is stuck on well. Then remove the introducer needle by pulling back on these white tabs. Fill the cannula with 0.3 units for 6 mm cannulas or 0.5 units for 9 mm cannulas. You are now ready to resume your pump and start delivering insulin. Always check your blood sugar 2 hours after inserting to make sure it's working properly. Replace the protective lid on the inserter for proper disposal by pushing it until you hear it click. The AutoSoft 90 allows you to temporarily disconnect your pump without having to change the infusion set. You may want to temporarily disconnect from your pump at times such as showering, swimming, and contact sports. To disconnect, place a finger just in front of the cannula housing and gently squeeze the sides of the connector needle. Pull the connector needle straight out and insert the disconnect cover into the cannula housing. To reconnect your pump, fill the infusion set until you see insulin drip from the needle. Remember to never fill your tubing unless your set is disconnected. Now, remove the cover from the cannula housing. Place your finger in front of the cannula housing and push the connector needle straight in until you hear a click. We hope you found this video helpful. If you still have questions about infusion sets, please contact customer support at 877-801-6901. They're available 24 hours a day and happy to help.
This video will show you how to fill and install a new cartridge onto your Tandem pump and fill the pump tubing. In this video, we will be using the following items: a new unused cartridge, a new unused infusion set, a cartridge removal tool or coin, and a fill syringe with needle, filled with either Humalog or Novolog rapid-acting U100 insulin. We recommend using room temperature insulin to minimize the risk of air bubbles. Refer to your user guide for detailed instructions for drawing insulin from a vial. How much insulin you put in will be determined in conjunction with your healthcare team, but a good rule is to fill at least 120 units, but no more than 300 units for our T-Slim pumps, and between 145 and 480 units for the T-Flex pump. Be aware that overfilling can damage your cartridge. If your pump screen times out at any point during the load process, just unlock your pump and it will resume right where you left off. First, examine your cartridge and packaging for any visible damage. If you suspect the cartridge may be damaged, do not use it. Now, open the package and remove the cartridge. Next, holding your cartridge upright, insert the needle into the white fill port on the top of the cartridge. It should stop about halfway, but occasionally will go all the way in. Either way is fine, but do not try to force it once you feel some resistance. Keeping your cartridge and syringe both vertical, slowly pull up on the plunger until it is fully retracted in order to remove any residual air in the cartridge. You'll probably see some bubbles during this step. With the needle still in the cartridge, gently release the plunger. Air pressure will pull it back to a neutral position, but will not push any air back into the cartridge. Now you can remove the needle from the fill port. This step removes any air that may have been trapped in the cartridge bag. Turn the syringe upside down and pull back some on the plunger. Flick or tap the syringe to release any air bubbles so that they rise to the top. Once you've gotten all the air bubbles loose, slowly press up on the plunger to remove the air from the syringe. A common place for air bubbles to get stuck is in the orange needle hub, so be sure to inspect that area. Stop when you see drops of insulin at the tip of the needle. Now it's time to reinsert the needle into the fill port on your cartridge and slowly press the plunger to fill your cartridge with insulin. It's normal to feel some resistance towards the end. After you have filled your cartridge, maintain pressure on the plunger as you remove the needle. If everything looks good and there are no leaks, you've successfully filled your cartridge and are ready to install it onto your pump. Now, turn on and unlock your pump, and from the home screen tap Options, then tap Load. Next, tap Change Cartridge. The pump will tell you that all deliveries will be stopped, which is fine, since you don't want to be trying to pump while you're changing your cartridge, so tap Yes to continue. Next, you'll be prompted to disconnect your infusion set from your body. Tap Next to continue. You should see the Preparing for Cartridge screen. Remove your used cartridge using the removal tool. You can also use a coin. Install your newly filled cartridge by placing the bottom edge at the end of the pump, like this, and lining up the grooves on either side of the cartridge with these guide tracks on the pump. Once lined up properly, push the cartridge on until you feel it click into place. The cartridge should fit smoothly against the pump. Your pump will take a few moments to detect the newly installed cartridge. Next, your pump will prompt you to fill your tubing with insulin. Never, ever fill your tubing when it's connected to your body. This could result in the unintended delivery of insulin. Always disconnect your infusion set from your body before you begin a load sequence. Your pump will remind you of this each time you tap Load. Before you can fill your tubing, you need to connect your tubing to the cartridge. Your infusion set may look different, but the tubing fill process is the same. Insert this end into the tubing lock connector on your cartridge and twist clockwise. Make sure it's nice and tight. A loose connection can lead to delivery problems, so it's always a good idea to double check and when in doubt, give it an extra twist. Now tap Start. Next, turn your pump so it's vertical. This allows any residual air left in your cartridge to be pumped out first. Your pump will beep periodically to let you know that it is filling the tubing. As the tubing fills, you may notice some small air bubbles in the first few inches of insulin. Very tiny ones aren't a concern, but anything larger should be pumped out. Even though air bubbles themselves will not harm you, there could be a risk of high blood sugar if air is infused in place of insulin. Once you notice 3 drops come out of the end of the tubing and you're satisfied that there are no large air bubbles left, tap Stop. Your pump will ask you to confirm that you saw drops at the end of the tubing. If you saw drops, tap Done. If you stopped the fill process before you saw drops, tap Fill to continue. You have now successfully filled your tubing. Refer to the instructions for your specific infusion set to insert and fill your cannula, then resume insulin delivery. Visit our website for videos about each of the infusion sets we offer. We hope you found this video helpful. If you still have questions about the load process, please contact customer support at 877-801-6901. They're available 24 hours a day and happy to help.
How to use the TruSteel infusion set. To begin, you will want to work on a clean surface. Be sure to wash your hands and clean your insertion site. Please refer to your healthcare provider's recommendations when selecting an insertion site. First, remove the circular protective cap from the connector needle, then connect the coupling housing to the tubing. Be sure you have the connector needle right side up, otherwise it will not connect properly. You should hear a click when it connects. Then, attach the infusion set tubing to the tubing lock connector on the cartridge. Twist clockwise until finger tight, and then twist another quarter of a turn to ensure a secure connection. Hold the TruSteel infusion set by the retaining wings. Fill the tubing according to the instructions in your Tandem pump user guide. Make sure you hold the needle pointing down to ensure that insulin does not come in contact with the adhesive backing paper. Make sure there are no gaps of air in your tubing to reduce the possibility of interrupted insulin delivery. Never fill tubing while the set is connected to your body. Always disconnect before filling your tubing. Next, while holding the set by the retaining wing, carefully remove the adhesive backing of the infusion set. Then, carefully remove the needle guard by gently pulling it, taking care not to touch the needle itself. When inserting the TruSteel needle, create a skin fold in order to reduce the risk of placing the needle in a muscle. To do this, pinch the skin at the insertion site with one hand, grasp the retaining wings of the infusion set with the other hand. Insert the TruSteel needle straight into the skin fold. Press down on the back of the adhesive tape to secure the set to your skin. Next, remove the paper backing from the coupling housing. Attach the coupling housing to a location on your skin that will allow for easy disconnection. Ensure that the short tail of tubing between the needle and coupling housing is not too tight. Because it doesn't use a separate introducer needle, the TruSteel does not require a cannula fill. Once the set is inserted, you should skip the fill cannula step in the load process. Set your site reminder for 24 to 48 hours, then resume insulin. Always check your blood sugar 2 hours after inserting to make sure it's working properly. When disconnecting from your pump, always disconnect from your site. Never disconnect at the tubing lock. You may want to temporarily disconnect from your pump at times such as showering, swimming, and contact sports. To disconnect, place a finger on the front of the coupling housing and gently squeeze the sides of the connector needle. Pull the connector needle straight out from the coupling housing. Cover the connector needle with the circular protective cap. Then insert the disconnect cover into the coupling housing until you hear a click. To reconnect your set, remove the circular protective cap. With the needle pointing down, fill the infusion set until you see insulin drip from the connector needle. Remember to never fill your tubing unless your set is disconnected. Now, remove the cover from the coupling housing. Place your finger in front of the coupling housing and push the connector needle straight in until you hear a click. We hope you found this video helpful. If you still have questions about infusion sets, please contact customer support at 877-801-6901. They're available 24 hours a day and happy to help.